Now at 5, how the city of Miami plans to use a more than $6 million grant from FEMA. Plus, we're going to hear from a local diaper bank about the need for support. And
U.S. security officials facing tough questions about how a gunman here was able to get within shooting distance of former President Donald Trump. I'm Masa Saidi in Butler, Pennsylvania, with the latest on the investigation.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
We have several big stories today involving former President Trump. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. We have the choice for vice president, an update on the investigation into the assassination attempt, and a ruling concerning the classified documents case. We're going to get to all of those, but we begin with the former president selecting Ohio Senator J.D. Vance to be his running mate. Vance served in the Marine Corps, graduated from Ohio State University, and is a Yale Law School graduate. He's also the best-selling author of Hillbilly Elegy, which was later turned into a film starring Glenn Close and Amy Adams. Donald Trump cited Vance's successful business career, said the senator will focus on helping American workers and farmers in the Midwest and beyond. Delegates to the Republican National Convention this afternoon formally chose Donald Trump as their presidential nominee. You'll be able to see live CBS coverage of that convention beginning tonight at 9 on KOAM TV. The head of the Department of Homeland Security is facing questions about how the Secret Service allowed a gunman to get within shooting distance of the former president at Saturday's campaign rally in western Pennsylvania. One man in the crowd was killed. The former president and 2 other people were hurt. Masa Saidi is in Butler, Pennsylvania with the latest on the investigation.
CBS News has confirmed that on the day of the assassination attempt, the shooter purchased a box of ammunition with 50 rounds. He fired from the rooftop of a building about 400 feet from the stage. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, whose department oversees the Secret Service, fielded questions Monday about how the gunman was able to get that close before Secret Service counter snipers shot and killed him.
An independent review will be conducted to understand the facts regarding protection of the event and make findings and recommendations accordingly.
President Trump's ear was grazed by a bullet. 2 other people were hurt. 57-year-old Marine veteran David Dutch and 74-year-old James Copenhaver. Both are now in stable condition. Retired Fire Chief Corey Comparatori was fatally shot.
He was a man that was full of love.
The FBI identified the shooter as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Investigators say they found rudimentary bomb materials at his home and in his vehicle. Neighbors say they saw nothing out of the ordinary.
We have nothing to share to make some logic out of something that's completely illogical. They were very friendly.
Law enforcement sources say the rifle found on the shooter's body was legally purchased by his father well before the attack. So far, investigators believe Crooks acted alone and the motive remains unknown. He was a registered Republican but did make a $15 donation to a progressive organization in 2021, according to the Federal Election Commission. Masa Saidi, CBS News, Butler, Pennsylvania.
The chairman of the House Oversight and Accountability Committee announced it'll hold a hearing next week with the Secret Service director on that attempted assassination. A federal judge has dismissed the classified documents case of Donald Trump in Florida because of concerns over the appointment of the prosecutor who brought that case. U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon granted the defense motion to dismiss the case today, voiding the prosecution. The Justice Department can appeal, and the case could even potentially land at the U.S. Supreme Court. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney now for a first look at the weather.
Well, temperatures were really hot today. We got up to upper 90s, even reaching triple digits in some areas. Right now on Joplin, 96 is the temperature. We do have a light breeze, about 25 miles per hour gusts as well from the south-southwest. Now, it's going to continue for the next couple of days. It does feel like it is still in the triple digits, even in Joplin. In some areas, actual temperature 102 out in Parsons, 104 in Independence, and then the heat index is much higher in some of these areas as well. So we do have that heat advisory, and it is going to continue as well through tomorrow. Not to mention in the hot pink, that is a excessive heat warning, which is the highest advisory that we could get. So it's going to be pretty hot, at least for the rest of the day today and tomorrow. We do have some relief with the cold front moving through later this week, and we'll talk about it in just a bit.
See you soon. FEMA is helping address flooding issues in Miami, Oklahoma with a new grant. The $6.3 million grant is the largest the city has ever received. The city will use the money for hazard mitigation projects in 5 flood-prone areas. Their aim is to prevent future road closures due to roadway flooding, and the selected areas are direct routes in and out of the city. An announcement ceremony was held on one of the most affected bridges in the city, where local and state officials celebrated the steps toward improvement.
We've been working on this project for 3.5 years. We've been rejected a couple times. They've asked us to update some stuff, so we've updated them. Once we did that, we finally got accepted. We actually heard a few weeks ago that we were awarded it, but we wanted to wait till it actually became official in writing, and then getting everybody down to celebrate. So it's a huge celebration. It's a huge win for Miami.
Project is expected to take 3 years to complete from design to finish. Tonight on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear from Miami residents about how the flooding has impacted their lives for decades. Missouri voters will choose nominees for county coroner on August 6th. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
The role of a county coroner is more than just transferring bodies.
I could, have something at 8 o'clock in the morning, have something at noon, work a homicide till 10 o'clock at night, midnight, 3 o'clock in the morning. The phones do not shut off.
Residents in Jasper, McDonald, Vernon, and Newton counties will vote for their next county coroner for a 4-year term. The Vernon and McDonald County races for coroner are uncontested. Jasper and Newton counties both have 2 candidates running for coroner. The position's qualifications are set by law, and the state county coroner must be 21 years or older and live within the county. According to the CDC, medical training is not a requirement for county coroner.
I think you should have some type of experience. Everyone's a hardworking individual, I'm sure, but the people that come out and want to be the coroner, there are so many things that you have to do. And we could list everything, but we'll be here for a while.
However, the county medical examiner, who is appointed rather than elected, must be a licensed physician by the State Board of the Healing Arts.
Amber, thanks. Happy Bottoms Diaper Charity helps Southwest Missouri families who struggle to afford diapers. The Kansas City organization recently partnered with McCune Brooks to establish the service in Carthage. The director of the program says half of all families lack the number of diapers they need for their child. As demand increases, the charity says they can't help others without support and donations from the community.
It's very important for us to get diapers into the hands of families. Not only is it a health issue of making sure families are changing diapers more often, it also becomes an economic issue.
To volunteer or donate, you can find more information on our website, koamnewsnow.com. Still ahead, we're going to meet the Freeman Health System volunteer who received state recognition. Plus, why doctors are raising concerns about pelvic floor issues among new mothers. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, a Neosho, Missouri woman receives state recognition for her volunteer efforts helping those in need. Susan Carlston volunteers with Freeman Neosho Meals on Wheels, her church, and the Neosho Fish Hatchery. Today, the Missouri Community Service Commission recognized Carlston with its Senior Service Award for her efforts.
When I first heard about it, I was just really surprised because I don't feel like I really do any more than anybody else.
Carlston says she was first inspired to help after her injured mother was helped by a volunteer following the Joplin tornado. It's fairly common among women after having children issues with their pelvic floor. It affects about a third of mothers. But experts are getting the word out that pelvic floor issues are not normal or something you should have to live with. Danya Bacchus has one woman's story.
Women tend to put themselves on the back burner a lot, and it's kind of an embarrassing topic to talk about.
Weeks after delivering her second child, Nicole Lukin says something changed.
I felt a very distinct pressure and heaviness. Knowing my body, I knew it wasn't right. I was diagnosed with a prolapsed bladder.
A new survey from Orlando Health shows most Americans think it's normal for women to experience pain, pressure, and incontinence after having children. 71% agree having some urinary leakage after having kids is normal, and more than half believe the same about experiencing pain during sex after childbirth, all common signs of damage to the pelvic floor.
A lot of these problems that women decide or choose to live with are completely fixable. Keep your hips over your knees.
Occupational therapist Tessa Ladd specializes in treating pelvic floor dysfunction.
We have the ability to strengthen those muscles, to lengthen those muscles, to work on the coordination. We have to do an element of lengthening and relaxation of some of those muscles and tissues before we can even think about moving forward with strengthening.
Nicole worked with her therapist, strengthening her pelvic floor and learning how to breathe and move to support the muscles.
I just didn't recognize all the things that I was doing to add pressure to the pelvic floor. Almost a year later, I still have to mentally remind myself on when I pick something up. I say, okay, breathe out and then breathe in.
She's grateful she was able to avoid surgery and wants women to know this isn't just something to accept, it's treatable. Danya Backus, CBS News.
Experts say the first step is talking to your healthcare provider. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, a perk offered by credit card companies, airport lounges.
And the heat does continue for the next couple of days, but we have a cold front moving through, and we'll talk about it right after the break. Unfortunately, it was a really hot day today. Heat index values in the triple digits. That trend continues tomorrow as well. Go ahead, take a look outside. Indigo sky, casino and resort, not a cloud in sight. So it's a really sunny day today. It's going to continue tomorrow as well. We do have some clouds moving in overnight. Some possible storms as well, but unfortunately it doesn't cool down just yet. We do have a heat advisory still in effect through tomorrow evening as well, and even an excessive heat warning in some of our southern counties in Oklahoma. Excessive heat warning is higher than a heat advisory, so it's going to be heat indices above 110 degrees in those areas. It's going to be pretty hot still through tomorrow as well. Like I said though, we do have a cold front moving through, and we do have some rain showers possibly making it in tonight, which may help with the temperatures tomorrow. But as of right now, we still have a pretty high risk for heat through tomorrow, mostly isolated through our southern counties at major risk. Northern counties a little bit cooler because those cold front does start to shift into the area early on Tuesday, and then we move into Wednesday and we drop back down to a minor risk, temperatures back in the 80s after those storms pass on Wednesday. It's going to be pretty nice, but until then, we'll go ahead and look at the heat indices tomorrow. Still possible getting up to the triple digits, like I said, in some areas, especially in these southern counties in Oklahoma, 113, 115 heat indice as well. Then we get 111 in Joplin, Pittsburgh, Lamar, Carthage. So this is due to the humidity that we're going to see. If we get those showers in the morning, it just adds to the humidity through the afternoon. Not to mention temperatures are still going to be in the upper 90s and even into the triple digits in some areas. Now, that's what we're going to look at. 7:30 in the morning, we may see those showers pushing through. We're not looking at anything severe tomorrow morning. That's going to hold off until Wednesday, but we do still have those showers pushing through, and it's going to be overcast to start off the morning as well. Now, like I said, due to the showers, if they don't fire up, then we may see a little bit of a cooler day tomorrow. But if they do, it just adds to that humidity that we're going to see throughout the rest of the day. Clears out, and then we're looking ahead to the storms Wednesday. This is going to be that cold front that moves through. These could be strong to severe. We're expecting strong damaging wind gusts and even localized flooding in some areas. So we see these pushing through after midnight on Tuesday and into early Wednesday morning. We're going to have those strong to severe storms and even scattered thunderstorms throughout the rest of the day. As those pass in the morning hours, that threat diminishes, but we're still looking at some rain showers and scattered thunderstorms throughout the rest of the day on Wednesday. Luckily, that's our relief. So temperatures drop back down to nearly 15 degrees, 84 as a high on Wednesday and Thursday. The overnight lows are back into the mid and lower 60s. And then throughout the rest of the week, we're looking at relatively average temperatures for this time of year. We do have some storm chances continuing next week as well.
We get past these next couple of days, and that colder air will certainly feel welcome.
Yes, it will.
Thanks, Lindsay. Coming up, continued power outages in the wake of Hurricane Beryl and a power company under scrutiny. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Texas Governor Greg Abbott is demanding answers with hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses still without power, now a week after Hurricane Beryl barreled across parts of the state. The slow response has put utility company CenterPoint Energy under growing scrutiny. So far, power has been restored to nearly 2 million customers, about 85% of those who experienced outages. The Houston area is one of the hardest hit as residents deal with sweltering heat without any air conditioning. Google is close to making a really large bet on cybersecurity. The tech giant is nearing its largest acquisition ever. It's a potential $23 billion deal for cybersecurity startup Wiz. Wiz makes cybersecurity software for cloud computing. Google's last major purchase was nearly a decade ago, $12.5 billion from Motorola. This potential deal still has not been finalized and, according to sources, could still fall apart. There's a new unlikely battle brewing just in time as the busy travel season heats up. It's taking place inside airport lounges, a perk offered by many credit card companies, including American Express and Chase. Bradley Blackburn takes us inside what some are calling a lounge war.
There's a place where flying feels glamorous again. This is the Chase Sapphire Lounge at New York's LaGuardia Airport.
Is this the largest Chase Lounge?
It is. It's about over 21,000 square feet, so it's the largest one we have to date.
Chase's Dana Powles showed us how it has everything from full meals and craft cocktails to spa services. There's a playroom for young children and a game room for kids of any age. Once you're inside, all of it is free for cardholders who pay a $550 annual fee and their guests.
Obviously, it costs money to provide all this to your customers, but you find this is a reason that people retain their cards.
So it's one of the top reasons people both get and keep their card.
Airport lounges are a fierce battlefield for credit card companies, hoping to bank customers. American Express's Centurion lounges are in almost 30 locations around the globe. And Capital One is expanding quickly, too.
The market is moving so fast. I think even since we introduced some of these features, we're seeing more and more of the competition begin to mimic them.
It's families, it's leisure travelers.
Lounges are one reason the points guy Brian Kelly says cards with high annual fees of $500 or more can be worth it.
Concessions in airports, bottles of water are $10. You've got a family and you can go to the lounge and get everyone fed and happy on a flight. There's a huge value to that.
70% of interest in fee-based credit cards comes from millennials and Gen Z. That's why these spaces are now built for young families like Mike and Tracy Wall and their daughter Madeline.
Anything you can do to make traveling with a toddler easier is well worth it.
Lounges determined to win friends in a war where travelers might be the winners.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, more on former President Donald Trump's pick to be his running mate. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear from some Miami, Oklahoma residents about regular flooding issues as the city looks to address them with a grant from FEMA. Plus, a local athlete shines at the 2024 Junior Women's Wrestling Freestyle National Championships. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. We're going to have to deal with some more brutally hot temperatures and humidity levels before we get a cool down later this week.
Unfortunately, that is the case. Tomorrow's still going to be pretty hot. We do have some showers in the morning that might add to the humidity, causing the heat index to continue to be in the triple digits. Luckily, we do have relief on Wednesday with a cold front.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.